All right, welcome to the Masked Yogi. I think we're on episode 5. We're starting in a restorative pose today. I call it the ramp, but some people call it queen pose. You take 2 blocks and a bolster, maybe a blanket. The first block goes on the high end, the second block on the medium or low setting. You put your bolster on top of those blocks on a little incline. You sit in front of the bolster with your sacrum flush to the bolster. You recline. You could wrap the blanket around the tops of the feet and then tuck them underneath the knees and thighs to support. And then hands can either come out to the side or rest on the belly, whatever feels most comfortable to you. So take a moment and build your ramp. Our inspiration this week comes from Richard Freeman. He says, yoga begins with listening. When we listen, we're giving space to what is. When we listen, we are giving space to what is. So maybe here you're flowing into your 3-part breath, your decompress. Just noticing your inhales, your exhales. Letting the eyes close, soften the face, the mouth. Breathing into the belly, into the side body, all the way up behind the collarbones. Pause. Exhale fully from the top on down. Repeat, filling the bottom of the lungs, the middle of the lungs, filling the lungs completely. Hold. Exhale fully. And just find your decompress here, your 3-part breath. As you check in with your chest, your heart, your hips, your thighs, your knees. Giving yourself permission to be completely open and relaxed. Noticing thoughts as they arise, but not judging any of those thoughts. Breathing in, breathing out in your decompress, your 3-part breath. Four more rounds of breath right here. Your breath return to normal. And with your next exhale, just turn your head over to one shoulder. Pause there. Breathe. Inhale back through center. Exhale other side. Inhale inhale back through center. And as you exhale, just lift your head up off the bolster an inch or so and hold, strengthening the neck muscles here. And then lower the head gently back to the bolster here. Bring awareness to your fingers, your fingertips, wiggling fingers, spreading the fingers, reaching through those fingers and hands, and then inhale, your arms out to the side and up. Awesome. Exhale, draw a circle with your arms, right? Yes. Do that twice more. Working with your breath. Wonderful. Now this time, draw the arms out and up, but then bend the arms and let the arms come in front of the chest into goalposts, right? So maybe separating the hands, coming more into goalpost arms, right? Yeah. Now squeeze the forearms together. Awesome. This is option one, just as you exhale. Squeeze the forearms together. Inhale, opening out to the side. Exhale, squeeze together. So you can stay with this option. Or the next time you squeeze your forearms together, pause for a moment, right? So you're squeezing, and then just press the hands up overhead a little bit, and notice what's happening in the triceps, and then lower the elbows again a little bit, and open out into cactus, right? Yep, yeah, you got it. Twice more, whichever one you want to do. Squeeze, lift, lower, open. Beautiful. Squeeze, lift, lower, open. Awesome. Slowly release the arms down. Do some yummy shoulder rolls here. And then slowly sit up. So you might have to remove your blanket, right? So coming up your way, moving the props off your mat. Never rushing. This is your time, right? So taking a moment. Coming onto all fours, into table. And you can start with cats and cows, fetal asana, right? You could also wag the tail if you wanted to. So exhale, draw the navel in, round, press the earth away. Inhale, soft belly, tailbone comes up, gaze comes forward, cow position. Continue here on your own. So this is option one. Option two, going into the wave, right? So this is when you come into your cat position and you shift back into child's pose. And then you scoot forward into your cow. Awesome. Exhale, cat and child. So I'm going to not cue this for you because I want you to find your own flow, right? So I call this the wave because it's kind of like a circle, like a wave coming to shore, right? We're adding the right arm to it to kind of warm up the shoulder. Now, if you have shoulder issues, please be really careful with this. Move mindfully as always, right? So if you wanted to move or add the arm to it, the next time you come into your child's pose, pull that right arm back, right? Yes, and then as you come onto your hand and knees and come back up, you circle that arm around. So okay, so my yogi is going the opposite way, but that's okay. You circle the way you want. Exhale. Yes. Pull back and then circle the way you would like to. And then make it one fluid movement if that's available, right? A good number today is 4. So maybe we'll do it twice more. This time, rest in child's pose for a moment. You can, if your forehead does not touch the floor, you could stack the fists, rest the forehead on those fists. Sigh the breath out. Listen within. Remember, it's all about listening today, right? To making space to what is. And when you feel ready for the other side, you can rock back up onto all fours. And first go into cat and cow, right? Don't rush into it. Just make your way into cat and cow. Whenever you feel inspired to do so, you can go into that wave by rounding into your cat and coming back into your child's pose. Scooping forward with your inhale into your cow and or table. And just finding your flow here. Beautiful. When you want to add the left arm to it, if you want to add it to it, right? The next time you come into your cat and then child's pose, pull that left arm back behind you. Make a big circle with that left arm as you come back up into table and or cow and reach forward, right? So, or if it feels better to go the opposite way again, like you did on the other side, that's okay too. Our number is 4 today, but of course you at home, you can do as many as you like. And then slowly, after your 4th round, making your way into a child's pose to rest and to check in. Maybe turning palms up. Maybe bending the arms and bringing hands to the shoulder blades. That's all, like, okay, without pulling back. Slide the arms forward again. I know my yogi has some shoulder issues, so I'm not sure this is going to happen. So we're just going to stay right here. Yeah, relax shoulders. Turn the palms back over. I think your body liked that better. Yes. Breathe in, breathe out. Now slowly rock up onto all fours. You want to set up for a little forearm plank, modified dolphin flow. Remember our number is 4, right? So we're going to come down onto forearms. And because my yogi has very nice long legs, I'm going to ask her to slide the knees back already a little bit, right? So when she comes forward into that forearm plank, the elbows need to line up with the shoulders, and they do. Awesome, right? And then you can bring the sits bones back behind you and come into a modified little puppy pose. Awesome. So make your adjustments here, right? If you would rather do the full version, I hate to say full version, a different version of dolphin, you could start in a down dog and be on your forearms. But I leave that up to my Masked Yogi. I'm going to do 4 rounds of dolphin or modified dolphin here just to warm up. So as you inhale, you come forward into your forearm plank. Yeah, that mask, right? You can always keep the knees down too. And then exhale, pull back. Then do it in your own time. I'm not going to cue you. And if you're like, Ursula, I don't want to do 4, you don't have to. Make sure you're pressing through both forearms equally, not just the elbows. Beautiful. And really notice what's happening in your body. Whenever you feel done, just come into puppy pose or child's pose, whichever one is easier for you. Rest. Check in with your shoulder, because I know your shoulder has been bothering you. So check in with your breath. Sigh the breath out. Beautiful. Then from here, slowly come up. Bring the hands by your knees and or onto your thighs. Come all the way up, standing on your knees kind of like. Awesome, beautiful. Now inhale the arms out and up, right? Pull the prayer to the heart. Then inhale the arms out and up. Interlace the fingers into steeple and do a little half moon to the left or to the right, doesn't matter. We do both sides, right? So awesome. Breathe. What's going on in your side body? You can always come out and come back in. Back through center. And just for you guys at home, it's pretty warm today, and that mask, good Lord. And then when you're ready to go to the other side, make your way to the other side. Awesome. And then come back through center when you feel ready. Separate the arms. Exhale, claim your space. Bring the hands to the hips or the low back for a moment. Now press the pubic bone forward. Open chest and heart. Do a little camel pose here, but just a variation of camel pose. We're staying right there where we are. We're just pressing pubic bone forward. Let the elbows come towards one another, opening chest and heart. Gorgeous, yes. And then slowly come down and do any pose that gives you joy right here. So I don't know if you wanted to do down dog or table or whatever brings you joy. Slowly, with your next inhale, walk the hands back towards the knees. We're either sitting in Vajrasana, where you're sitting on your heels or your feet, or if that's not available, right, so you're coming up with the torso. That's not available, you can sit on one or two blocks or even your bolster between your legs, right? It looks like that's pretty easy for you. So inhale your arms out and up. Exhale, claim your space. All right, inhale your arms out and up, and then let the arms come forward into gold post again. Wonderful. Now from here, we're going to let the left hand come underneath the right elbow, right? Yes. And then slowly the left hand is pressing up on that right elbow, and the right hand is moving towards your shoulder blade in the back, right? Yes. So if you needed to stay here, stay here. If you could reach through the right elbow and press the left elbow back, wonderful, you can stay here. You're reaching through the crown of the head. If you wanted to go for the bind, you let that left arm come around to the back, right, and you go for the bind. So maybe you're holding your own hand, and if you are, you could hinge forward from the hips and fold forward, but a lot of times people round here, so try not to round, right? If you're not holding your own hand, please don't fold forward. Awesome. Then inhale, slowly make your way back up. Release the arms, maybe shake them out. Okay, so next variation with your seat, and I don't know if my yogi wants to do this, you could rock forward a little bit, curl the toes under, and then sit on those heels with the toes curled under, which can be painful, so I don't know. All right, and we're going to do the other side. So inhale, arms out to the side and up. Exhale, claim your space. Awesome. Inhale, arms out and up, back into gold pose. Other side. So, yes, right hand, I think, underneath the left elbow. There you go. Take a moment, find length, let the shoulders relax, right? Awesome. So then decide, do you want to go for the bind? Do you want that right arm to come around the back? And you can maybe hold your own hand. Left elbow reaching up, right elbow reaching back. Wonderful. Breathe in. Breathe out. Do you want to hinge from the hips and come forward? Maybe. Awesome. Breathe here for a moment. And then slowly make your way back through center. Slowly release the arms, yes. And then come off your toes and do any movement that brings you joy at this point. We're slowly transitioning into Dandasana staff pose, so you come onto your buttocks with the legs out in front of you. Make sure that you have a little bit of a pelvic tilt going on, right? And if your hamstrings are a little on the tight side, you can keep a bend in the legs. You can also have a blanket underneath the knees. You're going to inhale the arms out and up. And as you exhale, you offer your heart forward and down towards the legs, right? And you just see, are you ready to stay here? If not, you're going to come right back up with an inhale and you try again. As many times as it takes before your body's like, oh, that's what we're doing? Okay, right? And you come into your Paschimottanasana, your seated forward fold. So you can always be really active in the pose or really passive, right? So see which one you want to be, how you want to work this pose. Take 3 to 4 rounds of breath. Try to relax your shoulders. Yeah, there you go. Listen to your body. Breathe in, breathe out. Now to come out, hold on, I want to stay here for a moment longer. Look over your feet. Maybe bring some energy back into the legs. Reach through your fingertips. Inhale all the way up. Yes, awesome. Exhale, claim your space. And then press the hands down into the floor and ask yourself, do you want to do a stargazer's variation by opening chest and heart and stay here? Do you want to do a reverse plank and or table, but only if you don't have any shoulder issues, right? So it's up to you what you're going to do here. Beautiful. And then slowly come back through center. And shake the legs out a little bit. We're going into Shirshasana next. Head to knee pose. I like to rename it into heart to knee pose. I say this all the time. So we're going to bend the right leg and let the right knee come out to the side. So you can either have the right foot upper left thigh or lower on the leg, but not right there by the knee, right? So awesome. So take a moment, let the right knee relax down towards the earth. You could use a prop here, but it's okay. Now look at your left leg and bring some energy into that leg. Wonderful. Now check in with your low back, because if you feel like you're rounding in your low back, take your hands for a moment, reach back there to your sits bones and make sure that you have a little pelvic tilt, or grab your blanket, fold it and put it underneath your sits bones. So it looks better already. Awesome. Now, if you have SI joint issues, stay here. If you want to come deeper into the pose, and I hate saying deeper, in a different variation, you could use a strap, or you inhale your arms out and up, you turn over that extended leg, and then you fold forward. And then you let the hands come wherever they need to, right? Yeah, and you soften your shoulders, because it's not about the shoulders or the forehead, it's just about you reaching your heart forward and down. For those of you who can wrap your hands around that left foot, wonderful. Press your foot into the hands. I always have my hands right there by the calf, so you could kind of turn your palms up and slide the hands underneath the calf. Yes, because when we do that, the shoulders stay relaxed. And then take 4 rounds of breath here. Shirshasana, head to knee pose. So before you come out, you bring awareness back to your core. You engage your core. You could either just walk the hands back and or reach through fingertips. Inhale all the way up, right? And then exhale, claim your space. Bring that right hand behind you a little bit onto the mat. Nope, just onto the floor. We're going into modified wild thing if that's what you want to do. I'm not sure if that's available, right? Lean over to the right, press up onto the right knee and shin, and then going into your wild thing. I might have to demonstrate, right? So from here, hold on. Y'all, now you're gonna see me too. That's not good, right? So from here, yes. Gotta work on my cues. Beautiful. And then slowly make your way back through center. Bring that knee back through center. Extend the legs long. Give them a good shake. Do whatever you want to do. Right? Make sure you're still on your sits bones. Awesome. Other side. Left leg bends. Shani-Shirshasana. Right leg stays energized. Right? Yeah, roll the shoulders back. Inhale, arms out and up. When you're ready, turn over that extended leg. Fold. Take your time, don't rush. So with each inhale, you find length. With each exhale, you just offer your heart forward and down. So whenever your body says, okay, I think I'm ready to stay, that's when you're going to stay. You take 4 rounds of breath. And you're just listening to what your body's saying to you. Right before you come out, you bring awareness back to the core. You come out your way, either walk the hands back and or reach through fingertips, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, claim your space, bring that left hand behind you, yes, and come into your wild thing if you want to. There you go. Awesome. Wonderful. And then slowly coming down, extending the legs. Do whichever movement you want to do that brings you joy at this point. Beautiful. So one option is to do the Shani-Shirshasana again. We're going, of course, into Gomukhasana, into our cow face pose. So we did bits and pieces of this already. So we're going to start with a half open cow face pose. So again, we're going to bend the right leg and bring the knee out to the side. This was Shani-Shirshasana, so this is one option. You could also bring the right ankle over the left leg, over towards the left hip, right? And then let the right knee come down towards the floor. So this is really intense on the hips, right? So let that right foot come a little bit more in line with the left hip, if that's available. So on the outside, yeah. So this would be half shoelace, right? So kind of think about that for a moment and let that right foot come a little bit out and up, if that's available. I'm not sure, right? So more towards the hip. Yes. Now can you bring the knee down towards the earth more? And what's going on with the extended leg, right? So here's the thing, and my Masked Yogi is awesome, and she's sitting nice and tall. I would be completely in agony here. So if you can't breathe, you go back to Shani-Shirshasana, right? Now, you then can bring the arms out and up, right? Exhale into goal post again. All right. Now take the right hand underneath the left elbow. Exhale, bring that arm up. And go for your Gomukhasana arms again, right? Whether you do the bind or not, that's up to you. And then you, yes, and then you fold forward if you hold your own hand. However, if you can't breathe or you feel completely collapsed, right, that's no good. So I let my Masked Yogi play with this for a second. remember, you're listening to your body. Whenever your body says you need to come up, you come up. You release the arms, maybe with a moan and a sigh, right? And you extend that right leg long, and you shake your legs out. And then we're going to go straight to the other side. So option 1, go-muKHA-suh-nuh, awesome, right? Option 2, that foot, that leg comes across, and the foot is making its way to the opposite hip, yeah. And then the knee, you kind of lovingly encourage to come down, and the extended leg stays activated, and you check in with your sits bones for a moment. Then you always do the opposite arm from the leg, right? So inhale, arms out and up. Exhale into gold pose. Now do the yeah, there you go. Do the opposite arm. Maybe go for the bind. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, coming forward, reaching your chest, your heart forward. Maybe one side is a little tighter than the other, so really listening and noticing what's happening. But never judging, right? Never judging. And whenever you need to come up, you're coming up. You slowly release the arms. Oh, I feel like I need to moan for her. And then extend the leg. Okay. So I'm not sure if she wants to do the full pose, but and again, full pose, what does that mean? A different version of the pose. How about that? So going into full shoelace, and you can either come into it like we talked about earlier through table, or the way you would like to. But I usually say come into table, right? And you slide the right knee all the way forward like you're going into swan. And then the right leg comes to the outside of the left leg. You slide that leg all the way back, and then you sit in between your feet, maybe, or on your feet, depending on what's going on, right? So could you bring both feet to the outside of your hips, and you sit in between? This is where you might need a prop, but awesome already. So then the knees, if the knees are way up high, right, then you would let the knees lower down, but she's awesome here. And then inhale, your arms out and up. Exhale, go pose. Do your arm variation, your Gomukhasana arms, right? Bind or no bind, that's up to you. And then with the open heart, yes, you come forward and reach through that left elbow, right? That's reaching long. The right elbow also reaching back. By the way, that's apple right there, or star today. She's not wearing a mask. And then come out whenever you need to, right? Oh, release the arms. Good with a good shake. And then you can rock forward or come into table or down dog, or anything you like to do. At this point, moan and groan, y'all. Right? One good news is we only got one more side to do, right? So when you're ready for the other side, come into your table again. Slide the left knee forward like you're going into swan. Then the left leg comes to the outside of the right leg. You slide that leg all the way back. Yeah, and you open your feet out to the side and you sit in between. Yes, wonderful. Knees then relax down towards the earth. Take a moment and breathe. Oh, let's just breathe. Beautiful. When you're ready for your arms, inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, go pose. Yes. Always opposite arm, right? So maybe going for the bind, maybe hold your own hand, and then reaching chest and heart forward. Check in with your hips, your breath, your chest. Listen to your body. Whenever you need to come back up, you let that happen. Oh, you release those arms, give them a good shake, and then you can come into any movement that makes sense to you at this point. So take about 5 to 6 rounds of breath here to move as you wish, because we're going to end up eventually on our back with some props. So don't rush, take your time. Transitioning onto your back the way you would like to. We're going into a little dynamic bridge with variations, and then we're going to go into our inversion choice. So you could have a bolster, pillow, block, whatever you need, right? So come onto your back. Yay. Bend your legs. Let your arms come alongside your body. This is option 1, cosmic reclining pose. Yay. Option 2, we're going into a little, no, not yet restorative. We're making our way there. We're going to go into bridge pose. So press into your feet, into your shoulders, right? And lift your hips up high. Now, maybe bringing your arms in a little bit. Yeah, awesome. Lifting, hips pressing into your feet equally. Noticing how your feet are pressing down into the floor. And then slowly come down. Let the tailbone be the last thing that comes down. For my Masked Yogi, I'm going to cue, have the feet about hip distance apart. Okay. Now let's try it again. Press into your feet, lift into your shoulders, lift your hips. Awesome. Keep an eye on your inner thigh. Awesome. And then slowly lower down. Rest for a moment. We're going to do a variation. We're going to keep the right leg the way it is. And we're just sliding the left foot forward a little bit. It's like you're straightening the leg, but not completely, because now we're just going to press into the right foot, lifting the hips. Right? Yeah, so, yeah. And notice what's happening in your quad. And if your body doesn't like it, you could go back to the previous. I'll leave it up to you, right? Then slowly come on down. So you can continue with this variation 2 more times. Or if you're like, no, I need to do regular bridge, then of course you go back into regular bridge. So really listening to your body and noticing how that right side needs to work so much harder when you extend that left leg long, right? And then, of course, if you do that variation, set it up for the other side, right? The left leg would stay bent and the right leg comes out a little bit. And it really depends on how far you extend the leg. That depends on you. Yes, beautiful. And notice the differences in the sides. And as you press up, what's going on in your foot, that grounding foot, right, in your hips, your shoulders. So you can do that for our count of 4, or do it as many times as you like. And then the next time you come down, just either hug the knees into the chest and or do the windshield wipers with your legs. And you can choose if you're going into a restorative bridge pose or legs up the block or shoulder stand or any other inversion of choice, right? But that's where we're headed. So if you want to go into that restorative bridge pose, plant your feet again, cosmic reclining pose, press into feet and shoulders, lift your hips, move the block underneath the sacrum. Recline or relax onto the block. it should feel good to your back, right? So there's no right or wrong way. It just should feel good. So you can stay here in a restorative bridge pose, Salamba Sedabandasana. You could also bring the legs up the block or up into the sky. You could do shoulders, and like I said before, do your inversion. We're going to take at least 6 rounds of breath here. Remember, you're listening within, you're being curious about what's going on in your mind, with your breath, in your body, with your emotions. Three more breaths right here. And then thinking about coming out, and we have to think about it first, because it needs to start in the mind. And then you bring your awareness to your body, and you engage your core, and you bring the feet back down, and you bring awareness to your inner thighs, the inner feet, and press into the feet, into the shoulders. Lift your hips up off the block. Remove the block and slowly come down. And again, you could do windshield wipers and or hug the knees into the chest, whatever you need to do. So here you can let your arms come into a T position and go into your spinal twist, right? I think my Masked Yogi has her favorite way to twist, so I'm going to let her just come into her twist the way she would like to, right? So twisting here, keeping shoulders relaxed, letting the knees come over to the floor to a prop, maybe even sighing the breath out. Three more rounds of breath just on this side. Bringing the head back through center, slowly bringing the knees back through center, and going with your next exhale into the twist to the other side. And just kind of let the twist happen. Don't force it. With each exhale, letting go a little bit more. Relaxing your face, your forehead, your eyes, your mouth. Breathe. And slowly bring the head back through center, knees back through center. do any other movement you really wanted to do before Shavasana. And maybe, just maybe, you feel like you need to turn around on your mat to change the energy flow for your Shavasana. And I highly recommend that, turning around on your mat and coming into your Shavasana. But don't rush, do the pose of choice. Completely relax into the support of your mat. I love that my Masked Yogi chose the bolster underneath the knees. Right, when you use a bolster underneath the knees and or thighs, you can either have semi-straight legs or let the knees open into almost a cobbler's position. It's so nice on the lumbar spine. Also notice your chin. Make sure the chin is slightly tucked, because you might need a pillow or a rolled up blanket underneath the neck. But my yogi is fine here. So we're going back, as my yogi relaxes into the earth, we're going back to our beginning. Yoga begins with listening. When we listen, we're giving space to what is. And it kind of ties in with the quote I want to finish with, and it's from my main teacher, Eric Schiffman, and he says, be still and ride the breath into the feeling tone of you, and feel the energy that you're made of. Stillness, peace, joy, and love. You're staying for 15 to 20 minutes in your Shavasana, wonderful, please stay. If you're ready to come out, bring awareness back to your breath. your physical body, to your mind body, your emotional body, and your bliss body. Make space for what is. Invite movement back into the body. You could stretch out long. You could roll over to one side. So many options. You could stay exactly where you are too. Come up into your seated position of choice. You can either have your hands in Anjali Mudra prayer position or one hand on the heart and one on the belly, either way. Take a moment here, give thanks to this moment. May there be kindness in your gaze when you look within. Om Shanti Shanti. Namaste.